We're with Pam Custers, a psychotherapist and specialises in relationship therapy. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Excellent. I think we can all benefit from what Pam's going to tell us. Now, Pam, when we were having a cup of tea before we were setting up,
Yes.
you gave a really fascinating fact on the percentage of women who come to you in perimenopause and menopause. And bearing in mind you're a relationships counsellor, we really want to know about that, don't we, Anne?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what can you tell us?
Okay, well, thank you very much for having me here. It's absolutely fantastic. Yes, it's very interesting because I run a busy practice, and the ratio of people who come and see me in my couple counselling part of the practice is 40% of the people are probably people who have got children who are 2 to 4 or 5 years old, so couple, youngish couples, and 60% are couples who have been married 18, 22 years,
So
who are perimenopausal, menopausal.
Yeah.
And it is really a time that we can describe as the perfect storm, because it's a moment when our hormones creep up on us.
So we're not prepared for that at all.
Absolutely,
In denial, probably.
absolutely not. And the penny it takes quite a while to drop that actually we are perimenopausal or we moving into full-blown menopause. However, because of the fluctuations of hormones, our connection with our husband can often take a blow, because our desire really reduces.
Yeah.
And for a lot of women, it's deciding whether, is this menopause or is this my relationship?
Is that a question they ask, or is that something
absolutely.
that you have to bring them round to
Well,
thinking?
it's something that I have to raise. So many couples come in and say, we are feeling disconnected, really not being able to connect with my husband, and you know, I just have no desire whatsoever, and in fact, you know, I'm a bit fed up because my children are leaving home. You know, my husband's job is taking up.
And they're probably feeling themselves in their jobs that they're getting to an age where the young people
absolutely the younger people are biting their husband's heels. The pressure is on for them. You know, they've still got the big mortgage and the big house, and they might be just coming out of expensive school fees, and so the pressure is on the husband to provide. And he's got nose to the grindstone, doesn't want to lose his job. Maybe his career is perhaps faltering at this point. Or
And they've got careers as well, I'm guessing. A lot of the women
have got careers themselves, and they may also be kind of thinking, well, where does our relationship go? What is our trajectory from this point?
Yeah.
Are they looking to fix it, or are you sort of... I'm sorry if this is a crude question.
No.
Are you the stop for, well, if it doesn't work with Pam, the next stop is the lawyer's office? Or...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And some people have already been to the lawyer's office.
Right.
And, you know, for me, there are a number of different kinds of clients that walk through my door. So there's the clients who've been to the divorce lawyer already have probably got a 50-50 chance of turning it around, because actually one or other of them have already stepped outside the door. They've got one foot out of the door, so to speak. Then we've got a group of people who are just feeling disconnected. How do I, you know, who is the stranger that I'm waking up to?
Yeah.
So how do they connect? That's obviously what everyone's going... Someone's out I go, yeah.
Yes.
So what do they do?
What do they do?
Isn't that simple? I know
So-
it's not as simple as that.
It's not as simple as that, because often we use sex as a way of feeling connected, and for some people sex is a card or a sense of feeling loved, whilst other people need connection in order to have sex. So what comes first?
Yeah.
And often you'll have one partner who needs sex in order to feel loved.
Yeah.
And if the sex dries up and the busyness of life has also not facilitated connection, then what do? So how do we kickstart that connection?
Ow.
People are frantically pausing for this
Pause, pen, paper, take these words down. What I say to couples, and this is in terms of sex and desire, and it's a helpful, obviously we can't dive straight into sex and desire, so maybe I'll just go one step forward. The first step is really about communication. And if there's a whole bunch of stuff happening in our bodies that's affecting our mood, that's affecting our way of operating in the world, we have to let our partner in on it.
Yeah.
It's simply unfair to not tell our partner how we're feeling. And often with menopause, our sense of self-worth, our self-esteem is taking a little bit of a nosedive.
Yeah.
Everything's going a little bit south. The midriff is kind of expanding. There is a shift.
Hair falling out.
Hair falling out.
And basically, low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem. Suddenly our self-image shifts. When we're not feeling good about ourselves, it's quite hard to kind of feel good about our connection with our husband or being intimate. So the next thing, so it's really about talking.
Yeah.
It's about getting everybody on side, about understanding that actually menopause isn't an individual's problem. It's a relational problem. It's a problem that the relationship has to manage. You wouldn't fall pregnant and say, actually, it's got nothing to do with you.
Good point.
Okay?
Yeah.
You would say, actually, we're doing this together. And that is your love partner. And, we can't get the support from anybody else, really, other than our intimate love partner. Yes, of course you can get support elsewhere with friends, etc., etc. But often we'll talk about our menopause more with our girlfriends than with our partner.
Yeah.
And our partner's completely at a loss.
Yeah.
And then woe betide, they'd say, actually, I think you're hormonal. Because that is the death knell. That is the death knell.
It is.
Bam. So to sort of sum up the other real important next step is really about how do we kickstart desire. And the usual kind of romancing ways that we have had for the last 20 years in a relationship, roll over and how's about it, will not work. And actually, foreplay starts on a Monday morning. And it's the way that you say good morning to each other. It's the hug that you give each other. It's the finding out actually how is work. I mean how really how is it going for you? And it's that connection. It's being really attentive, open, engaged with our partner, and that facilitates intimacy.
Because you're part of each other's world.
Exactly. And if we can take performance out of the equation and we start looking at intimacy in terms of sensuality, we take the pressure off the relationship. So so it's talking, it's being connected through the week, it's understanding that our partner it has to be a partnership.
Yeah. Excellent. Good. Have you got any other top tips?
Well, the top tips. Well, it's to know that actually it's okay.
Yeah.
This is okay.
Yeah.
Everybody has to go through this process.
Yeah.
And it is a time when we have to recalibrate our relationship. And we can't deny it. we have to embrace it.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
when,
recalibrating life as well, because we always talk about menopause. It's a reset, and it's like things are
Absolutely.
changing, and relationships will change.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And once you're not polarized with your partner and you're doing it as a partnership, it becomes a truly liberating and
Yeah.
exciting process,
Mhm.
because actually it's the next chapter of
I
your
was just
life.
about to say that. You're just going into the next chapter. If you do have children, they're not part of the centre of your family
Exactly.
life anymore. You've got to
Exactly.
reconnect with your partner.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Pam. That was brilliant.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Pam.
thank
We
you.
look forward to reading your blog and on our
Fantastic.
website.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, what is your website? I will put it on the...
www.pamcusters.co.uk, and it's the relationship practice.
Okay, well, we'll put that at the end of the...
Fantastic. And we see people either face to face or on Skype.
Perfect.
The modern world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.